Let's do this shit. Hello, welcome to the Fish and Flower podcast. I'm Flower, aka Rose. My fun fact is I'm gonna try to do this fast because a bitch has a sore throat. It's me. I don't think I'm sick. This is because I've been either recording for like 2 hours on top of streaming for like 5 hours multiple days in a row. I have issues.
Get out of my containers. Sorry.
I can't wait to leave that in. Oh, that's staying forever.
No, Kiki tries to. If we open the cabinet that has like the containers, like the Tupperware and shit, she goes in there and she just crawls through them all, and then she tries to open the door half the time to get in there to crawl through them. I'm like, get out of my damn containers.
I miss my Stella cat.
Sorry.
Aww, she sent me a picture of her and Phoebe cuddling. What the fuck? I miss my cats.
Sorry,
my god cats. Okay, do your intro.
My name is Fish, aka Stingray, and I read 2 chapters of a book with my eyeballs this morning. Can you believe it?
Wow.
Clutch your fucking pearls.
I've been writing for 6 days in a row. Clutch your fucking pearls. Clearly, some spooky supernatural shit's happening.
I've also been writing, and I've also been practicing guitar. What's going on?
Who are we? What is this? Dude, I love.
Words, everybody clap.
It's great because the fish's mental health has declined. A rose's
rapidly.
Yes, a flower's mental health has increased. I think I'm just siphoning it off of you. I think I'm just like a succubus siphoning your mental health.
Yes.
Your happy brain juice is going into me. That's what has to be happening.
Don't worry, I've been taking my batteries.
And then the side effect of your brain chemistry is that now I'm writing. That has to be the solution.
Yeah.
All right.
But you know how I'm taking what? You know how I know that I'm taking my batteries? Because I can't stop fucking drooling everywhere. I'm like, because there's just so much saliva.
This is a stream of conscious podcast. Very similar to how we talk to each other on a daily basis. I have not done this intro in a long fucking time. Can you tell? On today's episode, finally into the Drowning Deep. This was not the episode planned for today, but the fish just finished it, so let's go. It is a horror. It's a murder mermaid horror, the full-length novel version. Though the true horror is trying to listen to me pronounce the Mariana Trench? Is that how you pronounce it? The Marinara Trench. The Marinara. Shut up. Content warnings. We got gore, death, blood, animal death, ableism, medical content, drug use, sexual content, and then labeled in minor is biphobia. That should at least be in moderate. Hear me out.
Yeah.
It's
like Jason.
It's very prevalent in this one character constantly. Like whenever this character is on page, it's happening.
I was gonna go to when he died.
And I would like to know that it was a lot.
If he wasn't a stupid asshole. I mean, he would have died stupidly if he wasn't a stupid asshole.
Alright. Quick rundown of the novella. In case you don't want to listen to that episode, though, if you're watching on YouTube, I will have it above in the cards, because that's a cool thing I can do. There were part of Imagination, a, like, mockumentary type style channel sent up a bunch of scientists to look into the Mariana Trench. There we go, I got it! Shut up! And looking for mermaids, and then they all died. One of the main characters is Anne, who it was like the on-camera personality on the ship. Literally everybody died to a giant fucking mermaid. That is the whole rundown of the novella, basically. This book is a few years after. Everything that happened to the novella also was like released footage of what happened. It got released somehow, blah blah blah, and it's labeled as a public relations nightmare and hoax. And and it's been 7 years since then. And so, to try to clear their name, Imagination is sending a new ship to get actual evidence. So,
fun fact thing.
what?
The book takes place in 2022, and that's why I originally read it a few months after it takes place. And I think that's funny. And it's been almost 2 years since I read it the first time, which is also kind of crazy timing-wise.
Part of the reason why they're doing this new endeavor now is because there was a yacht in the area of the Mariana Trench. There we go. And there was like this celeb guy with a bunch of bikini models, and they all go missing under similar circumstances as the ship in the first novella. So the public opinion on them making another documentary isn't great. The main character, hear me out. The way, at least these books are written for Mira Grant, it's an ensemble cast type thing where there's a bunch of characters and none of them are really the main character. But the main character could be Tori and Julian.
You know, I kind of love that though, because I feel like the characters are so fleshed out, even though you don't see one's not technically a main character, besides I guess Tori, if you want to pick a main character.
Yeah, she's like the main character, I guess. She's a marine biologist of a kind. She is the younger sister of Anne from the first one. That's why I brought up Anne. Julian is somebody. She's like a professor who made her career on mythological creatures. But also like big on environmental stuff with the ocean. I think she grew up in Hawaii, so there's a lot of like whaling and attacking whaling boats and all this stuff. She was asked to be on the original voyage and believes the mermaids are real and could eat everyone on the second trip. She didn't go on the first trip, but she blames herself partially for it because the whole reason why the first trip happened, partially is because she went, yeah, this is like all the evidence we have of mermaids, and so then Imagination went, this is a good idea, and so now she slightly blames herself and is going on this one. Tori.
That's really sad though that she blames herself.
I know, right? Tori uses her minuscule paycheck to spend money on small cameras to watch the trench. And whenever everyone asks why, she says she's looking for Anne. She mainly listens to the ocean. That's her thing. Which will become important. Lewis is her scientific partner / best friend. So he managed to get sonar audio from the trench of the past like 5 years, right? And it's very long explanation basically to show like she's showing her parents, like explaining to her parents, therefore explaining to us like the layers of the audio and like how you can like tell different whales apart and stuff like that. And there's stuff about how in the trench it's not really cool. In the trench there's not as much noise as you'd expect for this giant area, right? But also another thing is that on these recordings, years after the first, like the novella, deep in the ocean, she has found evidence of the sound waves of the engine from the ship in the novella, which makes no sense. It's been years since that ship went down in a different area, and it's so far down, like it wouldn't be making noise down there. What are you talking about? Basically heavily hinting at the whole mimicry thing that the mermaids do. I don't think I wrote it in my notes, but there's like this whole aspect of them using mimicry to like, you know how some underwater creatures use like bioluminescence to attract prey. They use mimicry to attract their prey, make it sound like, hey, I'm your friend, and then whales come, and then yum yum.
But they also use it as a way to communicate that there's food.
But they also use it to communicate, and that's one of their 3 ways of communication. There's that way, there's their normal voice language, and then there's also their sign language, which is more evidence in this book that they're hella intelligent. We love that.
Sit down and think about it. This is actually terrifying, and I love it. I also need to preface with the fact I love isolated horror.
Yep.
I love ocean. You do not love ocean, but I love ocean, obviously. And I love isolated horror. And we're isolated on a boat in the middle of nowhere in the ocean. Mwah.
I wouldn't guess that you, somebody who goes by the name Stingray, loves the ocean.
Say, that's kind of a coincidence.
Um,
Love
so
the stingray lore.
so Blackwell is basically like the PR guy, but like co-head of Imagine, kind of. Um, breaks into Tori and Lewis's office to invite them on the new ship
Just
out,
sitting
right?
in the dark like a fucking weirdo.
Yeah, no, he's just sitting there. He heavily hints that the reason why Tori was able to get all the scientific data she needed to prove what she needed to prove to go out there so that they could bring her with them. Because having the younger sister of one of the people who died on the original ship will make it look better, right? It's because Imagina was helping her from behind the scenes. Um, Also, Blackwell
That was
is
his family.
Julian's ex-husband. Um, yeah, he's basically the right-hand man of the CEO and used to work with her in stopping whaling ships, which is how he is back broke and nails with extreme chronic pain due to nerve damage. There's like a whole bunch of stuff about that, and the whole reason why he's big into Imagine is because the whole reason why he can even walk is because of Imagine and their experimental stuff, right? Um, Everyone assumes Julian left him because of this, but it was the guilt from her doing the research that led to the ship going out the first time around, which led to a bunch of people dying, and her feeling guilty. Um,
I understand why people see her leaving him as like because he got injured thing. Like I understand why that would be like a thought process, but that's still so fucked up
I
that
know,
people
right?
would think that.
Um, and then also it doesn't help that like while she's all like, oh my god, this happened, I'm partially to blame, fuck Imagine, he's also like on the praise Imagine train because of how they helped him. She is making up for going on this journey as well. Hey, guess what? Imagine decided to design the ship with safety in mind, but one of the main safety features, which is impenetrable shutters, only works like
Mm-hmm.
2 out of 5 of the tests. Cough,
Which
cough.
is basically zero.
It's less than half. It's less than 50%. That's a fail. They should not be going out on that fucking ocean. Um, so the quote
They
unquote,
shouldn't even started. They shouldn't have disregarding the fucking shutters. They should have never done anything ever.
I know,
You
right?
didn't even breathe in the direction of that shit. Like,
I know, right? Um, so the Anne, quote unquote, of the ship is Olivia, who's the face of the whole
I
journey.
love her.
She does
I love
not like
her.
crowds and whatnot. I think it's confirmed she is autistic. I think I wrote it down at a
Yeah.
later point,
Yeah.
which we love representation. I forgot about that. Also, it is immediately confirmed that she's a lesbian.
I'm in love with her. I'm in
Tori
love with her.
Tori is immediately standoffish towards her, because the whole in her mind she's replacing it. Like she recognizes that
The
she's
way
not
she
actually
puts it
replacing
in
Anne,
I
but
love
also
her.
like all this other stuff. And Olivia's trying to be friendly because she also understands this. Wow. You know who is also on the ship? Tori's rude ex, who's like the main thing we know about him is his main thought process that mermaids aren't real. Literally every like all the time, anytime she was upset about her, sister's murder by mermaids being streamed on the internet or anything like that, he'd be like, "Well, mermaids aren't real." As there's literal video of her sister being murdered by mermaids. Like, hello. He gives Connor energy. I don't remember what his name is, but he gives Connor
His
energy.
name's Jason.
Oh.
When I was rereading this, I remembered like almost every single thing but the ending.
See,
I
that's
thought they
what
all
I
died.
remembered.
But it was so vivid in my mind. It was like I was watching a movie or something. That's how vivid it is in my mind, and I love it. And I want to eat it. I want to eat it.
Also on the ship is 2 exotic animal hunters who are being paid $1 million to be the first people to kill a mermaid. So that's fun. Obviously, all the scientists don't like them. Also, there's a pair of deaf twins, and their older sister, who is like their translator, but she's also a scientist on her own. One of the twins' job will be going down to the trench in a submersible, and the other one is going to do chemical analysis of the water. The older one
Also,
who does the translations for them in sign language, also is a linguistics blah blah blah, so she's gonna be working with translating what the mermaids say. So
Hear me out. Do I like Michi and Jock, is that his name?
I don't know.
As like in a moral standpoint, no. But there was something endearing about Michi. I don't know. I like Michi, just not her actions.
um. So there's another guy who's gonna help with the whole communication thing, and is currently working with secret dolphins on board who have been offered freedom if they go down the trench. Julian's not a big fan into this, for obvious fucking reasons. And Blackwell is all like, listen, we have their permission. And she's like, okay, so you're offering freedom to a captured thing if they risk their lives? That's like not ethical at all, my dude. You used to be much better than this, like all this stuff.
The dolphins are so sad.
So the submersible twin takes her first trip down, and they all get to see her death and the mermaid's attack style on camera.
I feel like I got murdered the first time I was having to hear that again. I was like, oh my god.
The mermaid attack. The mermaid attack style. The mermaid attack style and the intelligence of it reminds me of the raptors in the first Jurassic Park. It gave me that kind of vibe.
Oh my god, girl.
Shut up. Let me live my life. Obviously everyone's freaked by her death. And then Tori's ex is like, how is this possible? Like, sir, you're on a ship where your job is to find proof of mermaids. What do you mean? How is it possible that there's mermaids? Like,
he's so stupid.
I know, right? The animal hunters are going through all their weapons. And guess what? The shutters aren't working. Who could have seen this happening?
Who would have thunk the thought?
It's general consensus that mermaids will attack the ship at night, so everyone's getting prepared as the crew try to fix the shutters. So a lot of the scientists.
How fast this happens too.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, most of this happens in like 24 hours. A lot of the scientists don't know the shutters are not working. Because, and I quote, there's no way a Amechi would send them out with dysfunctional safety features.
Sure.
I would like to note 98% of the security on the ship is just models. So.
Mm-hmm. Well, the fact that this took place over like a night basically and like into like the next morning, and then it took them like 2 or 3 days to get rescued. Imagine having to live on that fucking boat for 2 or 3 days after that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bioluminescence of the mermaids is being noticed, and the scientists assume it's just other scientist equipment. And the captain is all, the mermaids are deep below, and you scientists said there's no way for them to come up this far that fast. So the fun fact, Olivia is into Tori. Olivia is confirmed autistic, and grew up in a physically and emotionally abusive household. Now, we have to talk about her cameraman, Ray. I fucking love this man. So, it's so great that the first mermaid attack on the ship, right, like, was, Ray sees one of the mermaids overboard, but he just sees a human shape in the water. So he goes, oh my god, someone's over water, and goes to pull them up. And by the time Olivia realizes it's a mermaid, it's too late, and he pushes her out of the way so it doesn't harm her and takes him instead.
But can we just talk about him more in depth for a second? Because this big old ex-wrestler guy is, like, friends and protecting this lesbian autistic girl. And is it weird to her? Is it genuinely her friend that doesn't fetishize her in any way? Like, I'm asking for nothing. Like, I'm asking for the bare minimum here. Like, the bar is in hell. Like,
So yeah, no, obviously good times. Tori realizes the mermaids actually have 3 languages. I already talked about this. Tori comforts Olivia in her grief. Olivia goes with her and Louis to Blackwell about their discovery and how it means they're going to attack in full soon. So Blackwell orders the dolphins be sent out, and the mermaids immediately kill the dolphins. The dolphin enclosure was left open and a mermaid entered it, so now they have one. Julian realizes the plan was to capture a mermaid all along. Blackwell says they can't leave yet, and it's totally not suspicious. Tori admits she's down to sleep with Olivia, and they kiss and then bang-a-ling. That's
Hell yeah.
quoting me. Um, Lewis is chased by one of the mermaids and is saved by the animal hunters, and now they have a mermaid body. Obviously, they're gonna do an autopsy. Tori is confirmed bisexual, which means this was supposed to go up in September, which would have been the third book that had bi representation accidentally in the same month during Bi Visibility Month.
But
We're suffering.
I know, right?
I was suffering.
So am I. It's fine. Now this is where I bring up the biphobia. So her ex, I never say his name because he's not important in my eyes. Literally multiple times. It's
He's
not.
so arrogant. Like,
Yeah. Like there's a whole thing when they are after they've been together. Olivia and Tori run into him, and he's all like, "Oh, blah blah blah," just like a bunch of biphobic shit. About their relationship and how.
you changed your mind. The only reason you changed your mind about all this
Yep.
stuff is because you're blaming her.
Yeah.
And then he brings up this picture that Tori had on a board of her friend who was also her ex, but was been her friend longer. And he's like, I was a good boyfriend. I let you keep that picture up of your ex-girlfriend. I'm like, and she's like, that was my friend who was my friend longer than anything. What the hell are you on about? And I'm like,
yeah,
you couldn't even make the girl come half the time. What are we on about?
It gives the energy of my girlfriend is bi, which means, and my girlfriend's bi, therefore I should be having threesomes with two women, but I'm not. And therefore, that means she has to be sleeping with a woman because there's no way a bi woman would be in a healthy relationship, monogamous relationship. That's kind of vibe he gives. Also, just a lot of other stuff about how like he's so great and he's gonna prove all this stuff. And then when he does, she'll realize how badly she like how dare she leave him and all this stuff and come back to him, and then he'll turn her down because she slept with a woman and all this stuff. It's like, oh my god, dude, fucking suck my dick. Anyways, nobody notices the unnatural claw marks and trails left along the sides of the ship. Cough, cough.
Imagine not noticing that.
I know, right? Tori's the autopsy assistant for Julian. Lots of sciencey things that aren't that important but pretty cool. Kind of reminds me of how the creatures in Subnautica are low-key based off of the creatures in our ocean. Like, they use a lot of real-life examples on how the mermaids are able to go from the bottom of the trench to the ship so fast without, like, getting the bends and stuff like that, or exploding.
She had to do so much research to write this and came up with a lot of this on her own. Like, I imagine there's some creatures that they're based off of, but I feel like it's really impressive as, like, a normal person to write a book like this. Does that make sense? Because you have to do so much. You gotta use your big brain. You gotta have a big brain, and you gotta use it real good.
I don't know how to use brains.
It's impressive. It's impressive. It's really impressive and interesting that someone could, like, create such a creature out of just things that already exist and could potentially exist.
Alright,
Especially like when I have big brain thoughts when I use my brain when it actually works.
Sure. So an example is this is when the mermaids have smaller prawn-like creatures in their quote-unquote hair. That keep it clean in a symbiotic relationship, which is very similar to how many whales and plankton exist, right? So that's cool. Speaking of the creature found in the hair, Julian gives them to Tori's ex, parentheses, who by the by is a bad lover. You already brought that up, but since that's what he studies, the mermaid is a male. The quote-unquote chest, what looks like a woman breast, it shows an expanded rib cage for space purposes, but also benefits as adds mimicry for the whole trapping purposes.
I think that's funny.
Yeah. There's also this whole thing where like they have extra padding or like air pockets in between their organs, so they need more space because of that. And that's why the bends doesn't happen. All this stuff. Also, Jillian says the name of mermaid is wrong because the whole chesting. They're actually sirens, which makes sense.
I mean, they're fucking sirens. Like, be still for real.
It should have been obvious with the mimicry thing. Tori's ex wants revenge for the crime of breaking up with him. I'm just gonna leave that there. He has to give over the microorganism things from the hair to his boss, so he decides to go through the hair himself for extra. Oh yay, he believes Tori cheated just because she's bi. He thinks she's only on the ship because of luck, and he's gonna make it big, and if she's lucky, the slut, aka Olivia, will be able to make it all worth it.
I would knock him upside the head, but he died because he was stupid, so he's taken care of.
Julian is still in the autopsy room trying to figure out why the sirens don't live near more populated shores where they'd have more food, thinking it could save their lives. Jason is stung by one of the creatures, and the venom almost immediately destroys all his red blood cells, and so his blood isn't able to clot. So, like, literally with just, like, a tiny hole in his finger, like, he's bleeding out of every orifice, and he dies.
No, I think it's funny that he's, like, a floor above the medical bay, and he walks from his room to the elevator, and before the elevator gets to the fucking next floor below him, he's dead. And I love that. No, you know how they figured it out too? It's because there was something blocking the elevator door, because he fell, obviously.
Yeah.
And they were like, what is blocking the elevator door? And they just find him being smushed to the elevator door.
The body is found, and they assume Tori killed him. Her alibi is Olivia.
That's the first thought. Be for real.
I know, right? Her alibi is Olivia, and that makes people give her side eyes, right? Blackwell is like, well, I have to investigate, blah, blah, blah. And Julian's like, one, I believe her. Two, I saw him messing with stuff. Three, like, basically is like, dude, shut the fuck up, she didn't do it. Like, from how Lewis explains their relationship, he was emotionally abusive, so that's great. We love that. So it's sirens attacking in full force. Fun times. A lot of people die.
The first people who die, like, after they get on board, besides, like, Gray and stuff, being those two drunk girls, and it's, like, be serious. Like, you're in a dangerous situation. At least close the damn door. That's how they died, because they were drinking fucking... I forgot what they were drinking. Anyways, with the fucking door open. At least close the damn door. At least have some semblance of fucking survival instincts.
There's, like, a whole thing where the two animal killers exotic animal killers go separate ways, and she gets shot by a spray bullet that went through one of the mermaids, and so the doctor's trying to fix her up, but because of the whole anti-red blood cell thing, she bleeds out, and everyone's scared to tell him, because, like, what do we tell him? Oh my god! Because, like, technically it was the bullet of one of them that killed her. All this stuff. Like, that's happening. Good times. Olivia knows a secret path to the security room. There's, like, this whole thing set up because of her autism. She likes to, like, know every detail of everything. And Blackwell, like, gave her the maps of the whole entire ship, and she, like, got access to the ship a day early so that she can, like, look at, like, every square inch of it. Like, that's a thing she likes to do. Valid, same. So she knows secret path through what's supposed to be servants' tunnels, because once this adventure is done, the ship is going to be used as, like, basically a museum slash a pleasure ship to go out. So they need servants' tunnels. So they just automatically built them when they built the ship. You know, that space that could have been used for security purposes, or, like, that's, like, process of building that could have been used to, like, fixing the shutters that, you know, are still fucking broken.
You know.
Anyways, the captain isn't replying to their pleas of, like, hey, please close the shutters. So,
LOL.
Yeah. So she has to go up there. Tori escorts her to the side path, and then, as soon as they separate, Tori almost immediately gets thrown overboard, and hey, that's weird, she sees something under the water. She tries to swim for the pool filtration area.
No, I was like, oh my god, I forgot she fell overboard. I was like, oh my god.
See, this is the part I remember the most. Olivia is able to get to the security. The captain's dead. And there's two security guys there, and they're like, we're leaving.
There. Yeah. And when Olivia goes to throw it overboard, they're like, but that's his hand. And she's like, he don't need it.
Yeah, no, there's two security people there. They're like, we're leaving, and she's like, well, I'm staying to like save everybody's life. You can leave, I guess. And they're like, okay, we'll stay and protect you. She calls up Blackwell, to give her the shutter code, and there's like this whole conversation about it where she has to be like, give me the goddamn fucking code. And she also, while she's at it, sends out the SOS. On the
It's
screens.
so long too, because they're like, well, we have to be sure it's not like an accident for someone to shut the shuttle, the shutter, so it has to be 20 characters long. What?
I know, right? Like, this is a safety thing. She on the security camera sees Tori stuck in the pool, and over the intercom, gets the older sister
That's
of the.
horrifying.
I know, right? Gets the older sister to the twins, who has been under the ship safely communicating with the captured siren this whole time, and they're like having a whole conversation, and that siren protects her from being killed by another siren. That's like a whole thing. She goes and gets her
That's
out.
crazy, though.
Tori is panicking and has Olivia turn on all the lights. She's all like, please, you gotta turn on all the lights. You gotta do it right now. She's in her head is like, this could either kill us or save us. But if we do nothing, we're probably gonna die anyways. So, and explains that, basically the thing that was the end of the novella, which is the female, is much larger, and, there's like this whole thing where Julian was like, why are they taking everybody's bodies overboard? That makes no sense. Like, for the amount of sirens, that's way too many, bodies per siren. Like, that's a lot of food. That's why it gives me How to Train Your Dragon 2. The whole thing with the giant, I'm not, I'm not,
I've only seen the first one.
I'm calling the fucking police. You haven't properly sobbed then. How dare you?
Do you know how I watched the first one? They
How?
played it in my elementary school cafeteria when I'm during lunch in the dark, when on like a cold day or something, or it was like when it was like close to like.
I'm shaking my head. I'm shaking my head so hard.
That was so fun. They like because like you know how I don't know if your elementary school did, but the two I went to had stages in the cafeteria too. So they would have like a projector screen up there, and like I don't know, it's so cool. Yeah, can I go back to elementary school?
So the female is much larger and could eat the whole ship. What happened in the first one? But maybe the lights will scare her away, blinding her. It works, yay. Epilogue is someone has the captured siren and hints at a possible future book that never came out, so I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, that's the book.
Also, Olivia and Tori end up together. Chef's kiss.
Yes. And Julian and Blackwell are friendly again.
In my mind, they end up back together. I feel like they worked it out.
Julian now gets the recognition she deserves instead of people just making fun of her for believing in mermaids.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
The ending is so, like, oh my god. Now, realistically, how big do you think the lady is?
I'm, like, picturing, you're gonna hate me. You're gonna say shut the fuck up. Vhagar in House of the Dragon.
I don't know what that looks like. Do you think it's the size of the fucking, whatever the name of this fucking boat is? Like, double it? Like,
it's gotta be bigger because she could eat it whole, was the explanation.
Yeah, I was thinking, like, 2-3 times bigger than the boat, 4 times. Like, I feel like she takes up the whole fucking trench. I could imagine her taking up the whole trench, for real. That makes sense in my mind.
This is a picture of full-size Vhagar, when she's laying down. The tiny dot at the bottom is a human for comparison size. That's how big I think she is. I think she's that big.
Oh.
This is the big lady.
Bigger would be a good idea.
This is the big lady, and I fucking love her. Anyways, this is not the House of the Dragon show.
Here's the question: what does the big siren mother lady girl look like? That's the question.
I assume she looks like the other sirens, but like 10 billion times the size.
That seems backwards to me. I feel like she looks different. I don't know why. It doesn't look different. It's the same species.
Also, I want to know if there's like this whole thing where like, she kills other female sirens to keep herself in power. And, like, what happens if she dies? Will they, like, will
Well, the
there
thing
be
is, this
another one
entire
that gets
show has
super
been
big?
thousands upon thousands of years.
Is there another pod of sirens elsewhere? Like, these are
I
important
don't think so. I think
questions.
this is it, man.
Also, did we ever really get the answers on why they aren't near civilization where there's more
Well,
food?
it kind of sounds like they were chased away before
Oh,
the
you're right.
lady.
Yes. It's been like almost a month since I've read this, so
I read it yesterday.
I know.
I finished it yesterday.
See, just looking at this picture of Vagar makes me want to just watch compilations of the dragons again.
Hush.
Just like, look at her. She's just a big, giant, drivable nuke. She's so cool.
Girl, anyway.
I have normal thought processes. What are you talking about? Look at her. She's just so big. But yes, that is Into the Drowning Deep. I rated it 4 stars. Did I have my rating this time? I don't remember.
Yeah, it was either 3.3 or 3.5 to 4.
I think it was a 3.5 and I upped it to 4. You rated it 5 because you're you. I have an important question. Is this a fever?
It's so good. I want to eat it.
This is a important question via me. Last night I suddenly remembered this whole thing where like when I did the vlog thing where you continuously read until you read a 5-star, you jokingly did a version that's like the opposite because you always rate everything 5 stars. So you were like,
Yeah.
let me do a version where I read until I find a book that I rate under 4 stars. And then I made you read, was it the book for the podcast that was about a podcast that you rated 3 stars and it immediately ended and you were like, fuck you, Rose. Did that actually happen?
It was like a 5-minute vlog.
It was like a 10-minute vlog because of me. Oh god, that's so funny.
No, it was like a 5-minute vlog because of you.
That's so funny. You're welcome. Yeah, book good book.
I want to eat it. Like, I've read it twice via ears, but I love it so much that I would buy it and read it with my eyeballs, even though it's bigger than my head. That's dedication.
There is an auto. When you okay, so because the ending has something where it felt like it was setting up a sequel, so I decided to search up Into the Drowning Deep. When you put in Into the Drowning Deep into Google, one of the first things that pops up for autofill is sequel, so that's fun. And apparently, the author Mira Grant did have a sequel all planned out, and it was like good to go, but nobody picked it up because one of her other books didn't sell well. So
that's bitch-phobic. I'll buy it. I'll put it out. No.
Yeah, no, she literally had it all planned out. She's willing to write it, but her publisher is not interested because something else didn't sell as well.
Please write it. Sell it to somebody else. Write it and sell it to somebody else. I'm begging you. I'm actually tearing up. No, that's so bitch-phobic. That's the most bitch-phobic thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, and so because of that, her publisher's been forcing her to focus more on the Wayward Children series because that's been selling well.
Which, like, that series.
The first one was good, but like the rest of them have been mess.
The first one was okay. I prefer her long-form writing. You prefer her short-form writing, but I just prefer the short. I like the long. I like the lore. I like the words. I want the sequel. I'm gonna go cry over the fact I'm not getting this fucking. Oh my god, I'm actually going to cry. Like, I'm gonna have a breakdown over this.
Somebody on this thread said self-publish a sequel, Mira, please.
Please, we're begging you, like, on my knees.
If Katie Robert can do it, you can do it too, Mira.
It would sell. I don't know why whoever this fucking publisher is wouldn't think it would sell. I mean, I would buy it. That's all that matters.
Listen, what the point is I need to find more fishy, watery, oceany horrors for the fish.
Even though you wouldn't like it, it
Yeah.
terrifies you.
I
Also,
probably wouldn't read them, but I'd send them to them.
related.
Um,
It is October, so
I know it's October.
I seriously do think Into the Drowning Deep is like into my top 10 of all time.
Okay, I did up it from a 3 to a 4. Thank you, my Goodreads review.
I told you. I know what you write shit. I'm aware. I keep on
Good,
top
because
of
I
things.
don't.
I keep tabs on you.
I don't.
That's why I'm here, because I keep too many tabs on you. What else do I have to do besides keep tabs on everybody?
Hey, excuse me.
But also, it was in my email that was like, Goodreads, you finished Into the Drowning Deep. Now what? Like, fuck off. Leave me alone, Goodreads. Like,
I would like to know somebody did make a aquatic horror books list on Goodreads, and the first one is Into the Drowning Deep on the list. Anyways, here you go. Here's a list.
thank you.
Anyways, end of podcast. Me promoting things. Links below. Stuff and stuff. I'm so good at this.
I don't do anything anymore because, well, you know.
I do too much, so your options are limited.
Yeah, you siphoned off every single ounce of everything ever that I've ever had, and I need you to return it to me.
No. So.
Wow. Thanks. You're a workaholic as it is. Why are you siphoning up all my fucking energy, you bitch?
Because I gotta have more so I can do more stuff. Okay, what else? Next episode should be Heartstopper Season 3.
If I don't kill myself after I watch it.
Yes. And then I'll still record the episode. It'll just be like 5 minutes long. It'll be like, well, the fish did it. So I guess this is the end.
Well,
Praise Kit Connor.
Little notes I'll make a Google Doc with my notes about each episode. So
and
I'll share that with you. So if I do kill myself, you can still have my thoughts and opinions about Heartstopper Season 3.
Good, because if you weren't here, my thoughts would just be Kit Connor in that Captain America costume.
Also, I've been spoiled about the fact he says fuck, and I can't. I don't think we're gonna be on the fucking floor when that happens.
Yeah.
I think he says it to Darcy too, from what I saw in the post, but I didn't look too hardly at it. I was like, go away.
Wait a second. I forgot Jonathan Bailey was gonna be in this season. Sorry, that's a Bridgerton thing. You don't know anything about Bridgerton.
I know of Bridgerton. I've heard things, seen things. I'm not fully out of the loop. Rude.
Congratulations for knowing of Bridgerton. Netflix's most popular show, like. Also, the fact that I didn't stop talking about season 3 to you for a very long time because I have thoughts and opinions. Don't worry, I have friends who are gonna watch it with me, and so then I can tell them my thoughts and opinions.
You're acting like you still won't tell me all your thoughts and your opinions. Be so serious.
That's true. When I was watching House of the Dragon with these people, I was telling you my thoughts about House of the Dragon.
And I was suffering because I love you.
Listen, hear me out. Big Dragon Lady. And that's how I'm ending the episode.
I will not be hearing you out.
Okay.
I prefer Big Fish Lady.
Wait, no, that's actually a personality. You're Big Fish Lady. I'm Big Dragon Lady. We need a Big Air Lady and a Big Earth Lady. Actually, Big Earth Lady, I do have one, which is the Big Tree Lady in the a horror series. I think it's on Shudder. Birch.
Girl, I don't know.
It's a small, yes, Crypt TV. That's what it is. And it's a giant, tall birch tree who is a woman and kills people. It just sometimes it's just like pretending to be a normal tree, and then other times it's literally turning people into trees.
That's so fun. I love that.
Yeah, and that's my big
We got
Earth
one
lady.
air.
So you need a big air lady. I guess
I
Vigor
don't
could
know where
count
I'm
as
gonna
both.
fight that.
I guess Vagar could count as both technically, but I don't know.
No, we can't have doubles. We can't have duplicates. We need
Yeah,
one. We
because
need
she's
separate.
got to be the Fire Nation and attack. I'm taking this joke way too far. I'm leaving you. Oh my
Yeah.
god. Do you have anything else to say?
No.
Thank you.